Hello, I'm Patrick Wagner. We're out here today with the Wildlife Rescue Center of Napa County, and we're doing some demonstrations with falcons and hawks, trying to just inform people on how we're doing abatement at these different vineyards using these techniques with the raptors. Yeah, what'd you think of that? Huh? Some little birds out there? Thing out here that wants to eat the grapes can't stand the profile of the Apple. They're just terrified of him because he's typically going to hunt that kind of a bird. So they'll leave. Big clouds of them will leave at a time. Our falcons actually are just chasing the birds off. They're not actually hunting and grabbing the starlings. That would kind of make a short day for them. So we teach them just to chase them and haze them out of here. And once they've done that effectively for their hour or 2 hours that day, then they get properly rewarded and will be picked up and do it again tomorrow. And typically our success rate on saving the grapes is somewhere in the 95 to 98% range. And these guys that own the vineyards can put their other techniques away, their nets, their reflective balloons, anything that they spend money on or energy to protect the fruit out here, we will be doing with the falcons. And so that's what we're out here doing today, just to get the message out that this is a very environment-friendly way to do pest control. So yeah, that's the little Apple falcon, very effective for abatement. Chasing off the starlings, robins, anything out here that's going to hurt the fruit. Typically they're the one bird that will penetrate the leaves and the canopy of the, whether it's blueberries or vineyards, where the other falcons I have will fly up high above them. So anybody that didn't decide to leave, we'll get the little Apple out and needle him out. And he'll follow you out there for hours until he's had one too many tidbits. Then we gotta call it a day, but he'll go out 2 or 3 times a day. Sometimes he'll fly in and out from the vehicles. I drive very slowly and just kind of hang out with you. What's nice about the little Apple is they're social. They like to follow you. They're easy to handle and just little sweethearts. And Ruckus is gonna fly with another bird, another Apple, and they'll be flying at the same time as I walk through the vineyards, and it'll be twice as effective. Should keep me on my game. I'm sure they'll learn how to backdoor me. You saw him do that over here where he'll change direction and he's always over here. And if there's a little bit of a breeze, he'll hover on right on top of you, and it's almost impossible to keep that lure away. But you just got to give it to him. If he's learned out how to figure you out, then you're gonna have to change your approach. Side boys. So when we do the abatement, we start sun up to sundown, and we're flying the falcons in intervals during the day. We have to change our times when we start and when we stop all the time, because the starlings typically will change their approach. What time they started coming into a vineyard yesterday will be quite different the next day. So it's a constant study. Apple can be a real handful to hood, but it's good for them to shut them off. And when the job's done, they need to just kind of relax and not be bouncing around looking for the next head of game to chase. I save them for tomorrow. I have an 8-bird crew, all different raptors. Mostly falcons, several different species of falcons. We're using Apple today. I have a Gyr falcon, peregrine falcon, a couple Harris hawks. And what we're doing is bird abatement at the vineyards, trying to achieve a higher yield in fruit at these vineyards by using the Falcons to chase off all of the pest birds that would destroy that fruit once veraison starts and the fruit becomes more precious to hold on to. The starlings seem to recognize each year exactly what time that is, and that's a great time for us to start getting our falcons out as we achieve different contracts with vineyards, and we're there mainly to protect that precious fruit, those grapes. We fly the birds in intervals, some of them for an hour, some of them for 2 hours at a time during a 12 to 14 hour day, sun up to sundown. Typically I'll live right on site for 3 to 6 weeks, depending on how bad the starlings are actually hurting the fruit. There's a lot of different birds that will come in as well and go after, you know, the easy free meal out here. And this is little Ruckus. I don't know if I mentioned, but he's a little Apomado from Peru, and he likes it very much here in it's kind of the right kind of temperature for this little guy. This is Kahlua. She's an 8-year-old female Harris hawk, and we call her the night crew when we're doing abatement. She flies with her boyfriend, Apache, who's about half her size, and they actually follow me through the vineyards as we chase off the pest birds that are eating the fruit, and also will follow the truck and my four-wheeler. And they have a perch set up that's on the front of the four-wheeler, and we can cover a lot of ground. And what their technique is just to fly right across the top of the canopy of the grapes, and anybody that thought about coming, any pest bird that thought about coming in to eat the grapes or is already in there is going to get out. And we'll do this in an hour or 2 hour shift, and having them both fly in unison is just terrifying for any bird that is going to be out there hurting the grapes. Harris hawk is a desert bird. They come from New Mexico, Arizona. They're in Florida, Texas. They like the heat. Everything about them is made to tolerate the heat. Their long legs are built to penetrate in through the cactus and the brush that they're hunting their quarry. And one thing that's neat about the Harris hawk is, like a wolf, they have a family structure which they operate within, and sometimes can be in a hunting or family group up to 20 birds. They can be flown with other Harris hawks and quickly will learn to fly in unison of each other and help each other out incredibly. Matter of fact, Kahlua does not like to go out unless Apache's with him, or with her, sorry. She'll be looking around for him and will only hunt at about half speed. So when we're out flying these birds, we have to load them in and out of cars. We have to protect them from, it could be anything that may be fearful to them. Motorcycles, airplanes. They're hardwired. Their eyes take in so much motion, and things can be very frightening. So part of our equipment that we use, the jesses, the leash, the glove, is the hood. And the hood is very important for training and working with these birds, because not only is it a calming tool, but when we're transporting these birds, it helps them to stay still, not hurt any of their feathers, their talons, bang around, bounce around, and they don't get upset with you when they have the hood on. If you were trying to put a big hawk like this onto a perch and it's flying away from your fist, it's learning to be afraid of you over and over and over. Whereas if you simply put the hood on, it's a light out situation, and they instantly just start to calm down. Matter of fact, if you had a heart monitor on her, within about 60 seconds you would see her heart rate drop. Her metabolism will drop, and they will go dormant with the hood on also, helping you to preserve, maybe you don't want them to lose as much weight for the next couple of hours. So that's what makes the hood essential, and it's something that should always be explained, because they can't see with the hood on, and like a a hot thoroughbred horse, they have to have some control over their intake as we try to deal and train with them. So that's just part of the equipment along with all the other equipment that we use, and very essential. It's something they need if they're going to be sharing their day with us. We protect all kinds of different crops, from apricots to cherries to blueberries, grapes. We've watched clouds of 2,000 starlings come in a half an hour, do their damage in 2 hours. And if you are not on top of or have a method to protect your fruit, it could be over for you in a matter of days. Starlings are probably one of our biggest culprits that hurt the crop and hurt the yield. They migrate and will travel up to 30 miles away. These same birds here that could be eating this fruit will probably be roosting with pigeons and different things on buildings and billboards and signs tonight, maybe 30 miles away. They will bring in a number of different diseases as they come in and work these vineyards as they get their grapes. I have actually witnessed 5 starlings hanging on netting while 4 pluck through the netting to get the grapes, because the weight of the extra 5 starlings are pulling the nets closer. They're constantly figuring out our methods, but when we use the Falcons, we're a step ahead of them. It's like putting a great white shark in a swimming pool. Everybody's out of there. The Harris Hawks are what I call my night crew. They always finish up the night right before dusk, because we want to make sure that any bird that thought about staying close to the vineyard doesn't want to do that. Could be the chance that the 2 Harris Hawks are still out there. We'll fly some falcons at 1,000 feet. No starling, robin, goldfinch, any of the birds that are eating the fruit want to be underneath a falcon that's just right up above them. And if they take refuge in the canopy of the grapes, we will get out the apple motto falcon, which will be like a needle and penetrate any of those birds that have taken refuge within the fruit. And we'll have to change the times of day that we fly. We may start out with a gyr falcon at 7 o'clock on Tuesday, but because of the starlings' habits and the way they learn what we do, we may not be able to fly that falcon on Wednesday until 11 o'clock, depending on when the approach of the birds that are coming in. Our birds don't catch these pest birds, they just chase them off, and work incredibly hard to do it. And they love it. These same birds that hunt for our food now can protect our food. And as far as environment friendly and just being a green way to protect your crops, this is the way to go. Incredibly effective. We have on an average 95 to 98% effectiveness in taking care of a vineyard or a crop and doing this kind of pest control.